Hi, today we are here at ThermoSphere with Alistair Bell. Hi Alistair.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi Alistair, thanks for having us down.
You're welcome.
It's your lovely new building.
Yeah, it does the job.
It's amazing.
How long have you been here now?
We've been here since August last year, 2018.
Fantastic.
And how long has your business been running? Tell us a little bit about the story behind it.
Okay, so the business was started in around 2004. I started with a couple of my brothers. Well, they joined me shortly afterwards. And it wasn't exactly your stellar startup, but more of a solid progressive. So we've grown consistently ever since then.
Yeah. And how's it changed over that time?
How's it changed? Well, I mean, there's been significant changes in the marketplace with product technology, but also I think the main change has been our communication technology. Whereas everything used to be traditional, hard flyers and meetings and word of mouth and recommendation. Obviously recommendation is still very important, but it's so much more important to have your online presence right and your digital offering right.
For sure, for sure. So let's, so do you want to tell the people watching a bit about ThermoSphere?
Tell you about ThermoSphere. Well, ThermoSphere is an innovative, very progressive manufacturer of electric underfloor heating. Okay. Electric underfloor heating is our passion, it's what we do. Yeah. It's our core product, everything is focused around that. We operate from a base in Marden here, but we also have a plant in Germany where we actually manufacture the product. Okay. So we can truly say we are a UK manufacturer. We own the manufacturing facility, it is our product, it's made to our specification, and we control the process from end to end.
Excellent, so it's not just outsourced to someone?
No, quite.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your customers. Who do you sell to?
So our main market is the tiling industry and the electrical wholesale industry. Traditionally, the floor heating was always installed by the tiler because it went traditionally with tiled floors. That's obviously spread over the years. It's now includes all sorts of floor coverings, timber floors, carpets and vinyls. And of course the electrician is very important in the installation process. So the market moved probably 10 or so years ago to embrace the electrical wholesale industry. And that now is quite a big area of our business. So our ideal customer would be the tile shop or the electrical wholesaler that shares our passion for innovation and growth, but also shares our values of excellence and commitment and being solutions driven.
Yeah. So is it more commercial or is it residential?
Residential.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much everything we do would be going into a residential building site or renovation.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So you talked a little bit about how things have changed over the last 10 years. What changes do you think are on the horizon? Do you see like how your industry is evolving, or how things might be different in the future?
Is that driven by technology?
If I knew the answer to that fully, I wouldn't be here. How are things changing in the future? I don't know. I think the whole concept of the connected house is quite a big driver for change at the moment. So you see the emergence of a lot more connected products, thermostats, window controls, ventilation control, securities, cameras, whatever. Yeah. That is driving a lot of innovation actually in the market. So if you can imagine our floor heating product, it does what it says on the tin. It goes in the floor, it heats the floor, you never see it again. Yeah. But the thermostat is the bit that everybody sees, and that's the bit that we try to innovate with. And for me, the thermostat should be beautiful enough to go on the wall of a really nicely decorated lounge or bedroom or bathroom, whatever it happens to be, and have pride of place.
Yeah. Not just a ugly piece of electrical equipment.
Right.
And so do you think in terms of the Internet of Things, the technology is having to move with that in terms of that connected world?
Very much.
Yeah, so people are wanting their floors warm before they come home.
Yes, and we already have that functionality with our thermostats. So our thermostats you can control via Wi-Fi or with a radio frequency with a hub, and also with some home automation protocols like Zigbee. Yeah. And so you can actually dial up your thermostat on an app on your phone. Yeah. On the way home from the airport, switch your floor heating on if it's been off.
And so this is your own manufactured thermostats?
No, we don't manufacture thermostats. we manufacture the electric floor heating component.
Yeah.
The thermostat is a completely different ballgame
Yeah.
in the electronics world.
Will there be a time when they're aligning to things like Alexa?
They do already,
Yeah.
absolutely. So you can call out to our thermostat through Alexa.
You can. Fantastic.
So I'm interested to know a little bit about how you've grown your business. How have you won new business, and what's worked, what hasn't worked for you?
Yeah, that's a difficult one to answer. I mean, when I think about how the market has changed since 2004, 15 years now, what worked in 2004, 5, 6, 7 isn't working the same now. Just the way things have changed. But what has definitely worked is being true to what you say you're going to do. So if you make a promise to a customer, it's written in blood, really. You can't go back on that. And so even implied promises are really important too. So any claim you make on your marketing material, any time you're on the phone and say, yes, I'll call you back in a second, did you mean you're going to call back in a second? That's really important. Yeah. So building the business has been based on that trust and that integrity that's carried right through. And we've been really fortunate enough to have great employees that share the vision, share the values, and have helped build this thing, because obviously I can't do it on my own.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your team here. How many people have you got working with you?
Today we've got 30, and the team is fairly flat as a structure. So we haven't got a great big hierarchy of reporting and so on. Yeah. So people are fairly autonomous, they can do their thing. We trust them to make decisions. We have a sales team which is largely based around the indoor sales model now, so it's phone bound rather than field, and we have a solid customer service team. I mean, really, they pick up all the pieces, don't they? They have to sort all the problems out that exist, and the customer often has more interaction with the customer service team than they do with the sales team. Yeah. And then we have a strong marketing team too, and they're taking us forward with a lot of great ideas for the way forward.
What does success look like to you in your business?
Okay, success for me is that we build a machine that can deliver with excellence whatever it is we ask it to deliver. Yeah. And that's at every touch point. So it's product design, it's product, obviously quality, product use, so the use of the thermostat, the way customers interact with the thermostat face, the way our customers receive deliveries, the way our parcels are packed, the way we answer the telephone. Every touch point, if we deliver that with excellence, that's success.
Fantastic, yeah, I like that. So you're just thinking about your whole brand,
experience.
the whole brand experience. Wonderful. So we talked a bit about some of the changes in the industry. What about in terms of your kind of passion and purpose? So why you do what you do?
I don't do it for underfloor heating's sake.
Yeah.
I guess deep down I just want to make a difference to people around me.
Yep.
So what you find so often, you come across people, they are real champions inside, but they don't know it. Yeah. And so to be able to provide an environment where their wings can unfurl and they can become the person they truly are, that's awesome.
Within your team, and creating an environment where people can grow like that. I like that.
So that leads me on to my question about legacy and impact. What kind of impact are you seeking to make through the business?
I'd like to think that I could be remembered as the person that was the stepping stone for somebody else to achieve their greatness.
And then I was going to ask you a bit about why do you think you're different, or what makes you different from others in the industry? You talked a bit about your competition.
Well, we approach our customers and their needs in a much more holistic way than just supplying underfloor heating. Yep. So if somebody rings us up with a query about how much underfloor heating do I need, they're bound to be asked more questions like, what is the substrate, what is the floor finish, what is the room going to be used for, how do you want to control it? All these other questions that help sometimes the installer and sometimes even the homeowner making the inquiry, help them to understand the other parts of the project around the installation of the underfloor heating. Because actually it's the easiest thing to do to just say, there you go, you need that size mat and that type of thermostat. And then you find out afterwards you've recommended the wrong mat because they're not using a tiled floor, they're using a wooden floor. And the whole installation experience becomes a nightmare.
Yeah, so actually you're talking about what you're thinking about the customer in terms of that whole experience, rather than just thinking, oh, actually, we just need to talk about the underfloor heating part, to actually be able to deliver a fuller service.
Yeah, and we have in our team we have people that specialise in the larger projects as well, and they get involved in all sorts of other products that are not our products. Things like sound reduction technology. So you think about high-rise buildings where they're converting from old office blocks to residential. Big problem is noise transfer. We get involved in all that sort of stuff too. Not necessarily to supply it, but to make sure that the client has understood how it all goes together properly.
And how your jigsaw fits in that part of it.
So it's like asking the questions that the client doesn't even know they have.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And how many, and it's interesting here you talk about customer service, you know, that team's obviously a really important team to you. And so how do you make that team deliver right? Is there training involved with those guys?
Yeah, we offer a lot of training to our teams, whichever team really, but new starters have I like to think, a really good induction process. The customer service team, they're great. They work extra hours when they're not asked to. They go the extra mile, and in fact, that little bit extra used to be one of our strap lines. It's kind of been condensed into excellence now. But that little bit extra really does mark what they do, and I think that's what makes them stand out.
A little bit extra. Brilliant.
Great. So what do you think is one of the most important qualities for business leaders today?
Wow. Business leaders today need humility because they can't do it on their own. And you know, I won't bother with all the cliched statements, but truly, if you can build a team of people around you that are better than you at what they do, you're going to succeed. And so to value people for who they are, what they are, and the qualities they can bring, but also to one important quality is to see the needs in someone and help them meet them. So they may not be aware of a training need, for example. Help them see it and help them achieve it. Help them grow.
So you're as a leader, you see a big part of your role is growing the people around you.
It's pretty much all you have to do.
Okay.
Perhaps in a smaller startup, you get involved in the firefighting of the day-to-day, but as you grow your team, forget management, go for leadership.
Great.
That's really interesting. I think that there are a lot of bosses out there, aren't they, which want to take the glory and stuff like that. But you seem to be taking a much more kind of, you know, sitting behind the team and empowering the team in front of you. Yeah.
That's how I prefer it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Excellent.
And what would your top tip be for other people in business? Have you got a nugget of advice or words of wisdom?
Yeah, I'll give you a nugget of advice that I often ignore. Run with your gut instinct, but not at the expense of due diligence.
That's interesting.
It's really important, especially in today's age. Of, you know, everybody's very quick to want to sue or, you know, take out some kind of lawsuit. You've got to do your due diligence. But run with your gut instinct because it's more often than not it's right.
And if it doesn't feel right, there's probably a reason for it.
Absolutely. I mean, I could give you a list as long as my arm of experiences where I've thought, well, it all stacks up and it looks right, but it doesn't feel right. But I've gone ahead because it looks right and regretted it big time.
You just need to double check.
Fantastic.
Great. So if anyone wants to find out more about ThermoSphere and your business, where should they go?
Well, they can certainly give our wonderful customer service team a call, but otherwise they can look online, thermosphere.com.
Fantastic. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it, Alistair.
Thanks for coming over.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.